am extremely late. I didn't even get to do a noon stream. There's a reason for that. I got some Mountain Dews. I ain't had Mountain Dews in a long time. I could not sleep. I tell you, I laid and laid and laid and laid and laid and laid. Thought, well, I'll go to sleep after breakfast. I better wait for the 2 connections. We're on YouTube and Twitch tonight. So off and on today, I just laid down and rested. I gotta wait for the second one to connect. They both connect. Let's wait and see. I'm waiting on YouTube. It's finally streaming, so yes, we're on YouTube and Twitch tonight. There was no afternoon stream. 8/17, my father's birthday. Yesterday was Marilyn Manson's second single. We were talking about that on the other stream. The last stream I did. Boy, he hit him hard. I'm going to change the way I do things now. I used to do it from the artistic point of view too, and then I quit doing that. I started using the internet. I'm going to go back to artistic point of view, like he did. Like I learned from him and Axl Rose. Artistic point of view. I'm going to quit renting it out because people just call you crazy. They call you names. They make fun of you. They troll you, etc. I'm just going to quit that. I want to change the way I handle things. And I'll start doing everything from the artistic point of view. Meaning I'm going to write it in a song. And I'm not going to name them. Legally, you're not supposed to name them. I mean, you're not supposed to name them in the song. So that's what we will do. You cross me, or say it's a situation in the news or anything, just anything. I can write about anything I'm feeling. I want to go back to that. I want to quit using the internet to rant about it and start using the artistic point of view. Make a song out of it. Now, I'm wanting to try to steer away from politics because I wanted to get back to storytelling. You remember the old-fashioned storytelling I used to do? Like he died in the flower garden and all that. That's what I want to go back to. I want to go back to those days. But I'm going to use the artistic pen to run out my frustrations as well. The right thing to do. That's what a real artiste does. That Vincent van Gogh, he used to paint his stuff in his paintings. That's what an artiste does. He takes and he molds and he creates something. I try not to be too ugly with it. And Marilyn was ugly with that anyway. The other song was beautiful. It was about his recovery. And then right into it, we get into the next song. The ugly part. And he's even giving him a stare down in that video. He even used the high and low colors. The red and the blue. I noticed that. I want to get back to the artistic pen as well. Not ranting out here on the internet, because all people does, they don't care. These people don't care. But now you could turn it into... What if you turned it into a beautiful masterpiece? Or some big masterpiece? That's what I'm going to do from now on. Today's the last day. I said yesterday was, but I let them drag me into it again. No more. Indeed, I'm looking into that. You do not have a right to abuse people on their disabilities. You don't have a right. I told him to legally stop, and if he don't stop from this point of view, him or her, I'll see what I can do.
This is Maud Eccles calling.
I might not be able to do nothing at all, but I might be able to sue them at least. It don't matter what I've done. From this day point, I'm not doing anything else. I was just trying not to be a victim. But these people have bullied me on my disability from the very beginning. That's why I don't like them. That's why I don't like them. I don't like bullies. It better stop. After I've told them to. They drug another leg into it, and I lashed out at him today, and I shouldn't have lashed out at him. I thought about that all night. Instead, I should have just told him to knock it off. It's went on long enough. It's went on for 2 years, just mocking me on my disability. You see what a normal person, that little insult about basement dweller, would mean nothing, because those people are staying home because they're staying home. But now what they're doing is they're bullying me on my disability, because that's the reason I stayed home. So that means even his insult is sort of like a dish at my disability, which makes it unlawful. It literally makes it unlawful. So it best stop. He can laugh. He can do whatever he wants to. I'm gonna let him make the next move. Him and her. I'm gonna let him make the next move. Then I'm gonna make my move. So I've told him to stop. I'm not gonna cuss at him anymore. I'm not gonna call him names. I'm just gonna tell him to stop. I best not hear no more from him. They better leave me alone. I'm not in their life anymore anyway. Enough is enough of this garbage. That's why I don't like them anyway, by the way. I don't really care what they think about my looks. You don't have a right to abuse me about my disabilities. You lowlives. And I've told the story behind the song. Bully as big as a well. Tells the disabled to get a job. That's abuse. Indeed, when you look it up, that's one of the terms. You lazy lowlife. You can't work. You lazy. That's one of the abuses. Oh, I made it. You lazy lowlife. You can't work. Get to work, you nasty bum. That's abuse. That's disability abuse. And I'm going to see who I can contact about it. I'm going to tell y'all, I did have a case a few years back. CNN Center, a.k.a. Phillips Arena. They were together back then. I was literally told I had a case. They discriminated against me. But they made it up. That's what happened. They made it up. And because they made it up, the Justice Department would not take it. And because the Justice Department would not take it, it was up to me. But now this is what she said. She shook my hand. She said, Stone, you have a case. And if you decide to take it legally, I will back you up 100%. She told me that. The lady from the Justice Department. It was the CNN Center and the, they finally we got there. We had the cheap seats. And any other time it was just no problem. You'd stand there at the booth for a little bit and they'd bring you back a ticket. Sorry, no seats. I said, well, you're going to be sorry. Because if I don't get some seats, I'm going to sue you. They went flying. Papers went flying through the office. They leave us standing there for a little bit. Finally, the old man comes back. He plays the game. I'll see what I can do. I'll see what... I said, you better see what you're going to do. But I turned him in anyway. Even though he made up the tickets, I turned him in just for the hell of it. Because I said, we drove an hour and 30 minutes here. And we're going to see a show, or we're going to sue. I told them that. Well, they coughed them up. There were nosebleed spots. There's a pipe in the way. You were sitting in front of a fucking pipe. I explained that to the lady as well. She said, well, that was kind of rude of them. I said, well, that's what they did. There's a pipe hanging down in her face. Well, she went to her stuff and she said, well, from what I can tell, because they actually gave them to you. They didn't break the disability law. You know that law about the disability because they actually supplied the seat. She said, now if they hadn't have supplied it, it would have been 100% their case. But they said because of the abuse that they made you feel, that you contacted me, you got a personal case. And I will back you up in court. That's what she told me. She said, just give me a call. Keep my number. If you decide to take legal action in your own hands, just give me a call, and I'll come and testify. She thought it was awful that they put a pipe in front of us. I mean, there was this big old, I don't know if it was air conditioning. I don't know what it was. This big old pipe that was hanging right down in our faces. The problem was, and this was the problem, this is the problem, there was no handicap sections in the chief seats. Now, the next level, what they was going to do, they was going to extort us. And I told them, we're not doing that. I said, we bought the tickets, and you're going to trade us something. Well, we can't do that. I guess you just don't get a ticket. That's what happened in the beginning. I said, well, that's not what the disability law says. See, I know my rights. I know they got to provide. And I said, and you better make some up or we're going to sue. Because they told us, well, we're just sorry. That's how they did. I believe it was a she at first. They brought a he in there later. I'm pretty sure it was a she at first. Papers ran when I told them I was going to sue. I mean, I'm literally telling you, they got up from the cubicle and papers flew off the desk. They made us stand there for a while. Finally, this little douchebag comes out and he says, I'm going to see if I can get you some seats. Well, they got us some. He got us some nosebleeds. But for the hell of it, I turned them in anyway. They said they still had to file the investigation whether they took the case or not. She did tell me. She said they had to file the report. So I said, good, let's do that. I went ahead and turned them in for disability discrimination. Now, I know these are individuals. You still don't have a right to try to make people feel useless. Now, I tried not to let them do it because I get mean back. But now the point of the view is you don't have a right to treat people like that. I'm sorry. You don't have a right to treat that. And I said I wasn't going to talk about them anymore. I'm just letting you know where I'm going. If it doesn't, I'm going to give them a chance to leave me alone. I've told them I don't want any more. I don't want to hear any more of it. I don't want to hear anything from them at all, really. I don't care about her opinion about my karaoke. I don't care about her opinion about my singing. I don't care about none of it. I don't care about her opinion at all. Her opinion means squat to me. There's no reason to talk to me. And they say, but you keep... No, I don't keep it going. And what keeps it going, you keep running your mouth, and then it causes me to respond. There's cause and effect in this world. Don't want to hear... But I don't want to hear from it anymore. I just flat out don't want to hear about it. Because it's just flat out just nitpicking at me and discriminating against me, and I'm not going to take it anymore. It's harassment, is what it is. It's harassment. By the way, you can't do anything about calling people names. That's not a crime. It might be mean, it might be hurtful, but it's not a crime. Unless you cuss them, of course. And I have cussed on my public streams, so I cuss on anyway, so. I haven't cussed them in public so far. I haven't. That I know of. I don't remember cussing them in public. I told her she was fat several times. Once years ago and now this time. Fat's not a crime. It doesn't count. This makes fun of my looks and makes fun of worse, like my disabilities. They make fun about my disabilities. It ain't about whether they believe I'm disabled. I don't have to prove anything. I don't owe them anything. I don't owe them anything. I just describe... What I was mainly talking about right now, though, is the experience that I had years ago. with the place. I've already had some experience in this subject. I should have just done this from the beginning. I should have just told him stop. And then stop. Because, see, I kept it going. Because legally, they don't have the right to do that. I mean, you don't have a right to harass people on their disabilities and all that stuff. It's not right. It's not ethical, and it's not right. Then I was preached to about me being bad for calling her fat. That's called disability discrimination. And with that, we're going to go move on. I addressed it. You know, I said last night and I woke up to that this morning. And she blows up. And she blows up. That was funny. Boy, the Mountain Dews. I think they're like the energy drink. The energy drink. I might as well have been drinking energy drinks. But I am going to go back to the old-fashioned way of venting my frustrations and thoughts and everything else. Music, music, I hear music. That's a gift I have. I'm going to start using it. Then it's my art. I'm going to try to get better and better. I got to start working on an album too. Like I said, I was going to start that in the fall. In the fall. I wonder what that is. Can she pick it up? I guess she can't pick it up. She can drink, though. Gotta try to make her some money. Well, I'm starting to get tired now. I may not be able to stay on long. I did rest. I rest several times. Anyway, what? I'm gonna shut up because I didn't want to do that anymore. What scum does that? I mean, come on, man. What scum does that? Huh. Hey. And he gets me out. What's wrong? Huh? What now? Huh? I didn't know what was going on. Okay. I was trying to figure out what was going on. It wasn't nothing. Can't never tell around this town. You can't never tell. Just have to get another car. Damn it. There we go. Now she got a car. Let me get my view back up so I can see good. Oh, I want to go back towards the city. Yeah, I guess I gotta quit. I gotta. Let's see where we want to go. We want to go back to the city. The good news is there's a God in heaven. I can't say that much. There's a God in heaven. He sees the injustice, and he can deal with it. That's all I'm gonna say. He knows the right side. Other people can twist it around. But now God sees the truth, and He will deal. He will deal. He'll pay back in spades. It ain't gonna be no karma, baby. It's gonna be God. You know, like throwing up karma. Ain't no karma to it. It's gonna be God, baby. He's the one that's gonna deal with it. He's done showed me several times it's not about what they say, it's about what He says. He's let me hear that several times this week. I'm gonna turn it over to God. He'll be my officer. He will be my judge. He will be the one that deals with it. If it goes on any further. Let's turn it over to Him. Let them laugh and make fun of that.
What miracle did you want me to perform?
Let's see how much she'll make. She'll make 2,000. That's pretty good. Although she lost a lot buying that dumb outfit. I sat in there and bought that dumb outfit. That dumb outfit wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it, y'all. As for what happened the other day, I think those people got the side they wanted, and I'm going to leave it at that. That's all I'm going to say. I think they got the side they wanted. That's okay. You lost 3 tickets, several food and beverage items, and 2 gym memberships over your stupidity. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. You got your side, but that's what you lost. Then I'll leave those 2 demons up to God. Those 2 one step away from disability themselves. one step away from disability themselves. I'm going to leave them up the guide. That trash. One step away from disability themselves. I mean, I'm not saying nothing, but I mean, see, we made the jump again. Ah! Let's see if we do it. We didn't do it because that damned old truck. That damned old truck. Yeah, I think they got the side they wanted. That's what I'm thinking. That's okay. Because, woo! There's other shows. Woo! Woo! There's other shows. Woo! There's other wrestlings in town. And woo! I can advertise for them. There's other circuses in town. And that one's ran by clown. Oops. All that stuff's bred in circuses, by the way. It's just to keep the people fed so they won't resist. Whether it be music, whether it be arts, entertainment, all of it. It's just bread and circuses. Because that's what they said in 1984, the book. Give them bread and circuses and those raffle tickets and gambling. Bread and circuses. Keep them distracted. And football. Keep them distracted. That's all it is. And I don't mean I don't like entertainment. I do. Just to keep the people distracted so they won't resist. Keep the people distracted so they won't resist. And let them get upset. You know, they want an angry world too. That was a part of it too. Remember, they used to scream at the screens. I'm doing 1984 for anybody who's... I'm not being crazy here. I'm doing 1984. I'm telling you what they did in 1984, the book and the movie. They screamed at the screens. I wonder if we can find the scene of that. I don't know. It might violate the copyright on YouTube. Damn it, if I was on Rumble, I'd pull it up where they're screaming at the screens. I know I at least buy 2 sodas sometimes because I would need the caffeine. Because I get really tired at night. But if I'd had one of them weak spells, I would get the candy. I didn't always get the candy. Only when I had one of them weak spells. That'd be normally like if I ate too less or something. Or ate too early. Look at those clouds. Like I said, I'm not knocking entertainment. I was just using the analogy about circuses. That was breaking the bucket. Ooh, I'm sure video games is part of it. I bet it's a big distraction. Indeed, that plays a part in their future, I've heard. Where it's gonna shut you and give you some drugs and video games. I like my video games. I've heard that's their plan. That's how they'll keep a lot of them subdued. By the way, when it comes to football, I'll tell you, I actually enjoy playing the video games. If I'd have sat down and just watched it back when I was a kid, instead of resisting because everybody did it, I might have liked it. I resisted it because the whole town was obsessed with it. That's that way. That's crazy, y'all. If something was popular, I didn't want nothing to do with it. I wanted to be the opposite of what everybody else was doing. I wanted to be the opposite of what everybody else was doing. I wanted to be the opposite. And then a lot of times I just end up being the same. Like in the same old movies. Like in the same old... But at least had the desire to want to be different. Because unfortunately, every popular movie every kid wanted to see, usually, and with as few exceptions, I wanted to see it too. One big difference, and this is the big difference. Y'all remember the 80s? All the kids were Hulkamania. I was Ric Flair. I was on Team Flair. I used to actually get made fun of for that. Some of the kids didn't even know who Flair was. Us who watched both did, but I'd still get picked on even by them. I was Sting and Flair and Arn Anderson, Lex Luger. That's the one time I was different. My daddy, he watched that wrestling. He rather watched WWE. That leads me to think about. Oh, by the way, Vince McMahon has replied with his attorneys. You know what? I kind of hope he's right. I kind of hope his attorneys are right, and I kind of believe that maybe they are. Because last time I seen him, I'm going to tell you, one of the last times I seen him, and I know it's been a while now, he was out with the Undertaker. He was on his cane, but he didn't look crippled. I mean, he didn't look like he was feeble to me, even when he was on that cane. Now, I know things are changing. I know I have my days. I'm like a feeble old man sometimes. Some days. Depends. Even though he was on a cane, he looked like he was getting around pretty well. I mean, yeah, he didn't look buff like he was. No, he was a big old macho man. You know, he would walk around with big shoulders. I seen him with the Undertaker somewhere. That's the last time I seen him. The Undertaker. You know what I think they're trying to do? I think they're trying to feeble him. This is my opinion. I think Vince Russo's touched on this too. Mr. Vince Russo. I think he's planning to have another company. Now, Russo has a theory too. If y'all follow Russo, y'all know he has a theory. Any of y'all follow Russo? I think it's their desire for Vincent Bed to be weak. I think it's their desire. Because I think they smell fear. What if he has his comeback? You know, there was stuff coming out that girl wouldn't necessarily want to. You know, it's turned out to be that way with Mr. Marilyn Manson. Just imagine if Vincent K. McMahon come back in his last few years of life and kick some booty with a new company. And he gets some Marilyn Manson victory. These girls ain't always accurate. Just because they holler, it don't mean it happened. Just because they holler, it don't mean it happened. Vince McMahon may be guilty in public. Vince McMahon may be guilty in public. But he might be innocent. Just like Manson. By the way, I was reading he put a CD out today and it sold out. I heard it sold out. I was hearing that it sold out. He put a CD of his 3 new songs. One of them he hasn't dropped, 2 of them he has. I wonder if he's ever dropped the other one. I'd like to see if I could hear it. Or do you just have to get it on the CD only? I heard he sold it out. I wonder if he did sell it out. Now imagine if Vincent K. McMahon came back with a wrestling company. His contract ends around the time the Netflix deal starts. That's going to be an amazing time to watch, ladies and gentlemen. I like WWE. I like Triple H. I know I'm a Triple H fan. Time to play the game. That's the time I didn't know whether I liked him or not. Oh, yeah, I liked him. I remember now. I liked him when he was over there as Levesque. You know, the French dude. So I've kind of liked him for a long time. Here comes the pain. I didn't realize that Stephanie McMahon was only 1 year younger than me. I thought she'd have been younger than me. I don't know why my brain thought she was younger than that. I've been seeing her birthday floating around the past few days. Here comes. She looked like a kid when she first come into it. I swear she did. She looked like a kid. I thought she'd been a little younger than me. It's only 1 year. 1 year and a month. She's born in September, they're saying. I was born in August. Here comes the pain. What if they're exaggerating Vincent K. McMahon's demise for a reason? Because they won't rid of him. So they don't want him as competition. Now, I sent a little prayer for him the other day. I guess it wouldn't matter to do that. Because if he's not frail, there is one thing he does need. He's an atheist. Now, I know atheists don't like God being pushed on them. I understand that. And I don't like to be the one to push God on them. But we can pray for a door. You know, he's an old man now. We can pray for a door. A praisey Jesus moment. Uh-oh. I don't like pushing God on people, by the way. Because like I said, you can't make me believe in nothing. Oh my God, I got her on fire. She put it out. You can't make me believe in nothing. If I don't believe in it, I don't believe in it. And you can't make me. And all the talking and all the telling and all the will not convince me. I have to come to that decision on my own. With everything. Including Bible verses. People quotes me Bible verses. Just because you quote it to me don't mean I'm going to believe it. God's got to show it to me.
Of course I took that way.
Of course I took that way.
I know, but I got a book that I can't shake.
Of course I took that. You can't push anything on me. If I don't believe it, I don't believe it. I think I was talking about that the other day. In detail.
Sorry about that.
Sometimes I repeat some of my talks. I probably shouldn't do that because people don't like hearing broken records. And then sometimes I tell you my out-of-box thinkings. I want to tell y'all, I do have a little bit of discomfort when it comes to that. Even though I'll do it. These people are so radical. And they're so radical about their freaking beliefs. That you just can't break their little bubble any. Because if you break it, you break their faith in and they go berserk. Like the pro-mask people back then, for instance. Used to go crazy on the nine-maskers.
Welcome.
The atheists go crazy on the Christians. The Christians want to sometimes force themselves down people's throats. And it just goes on and on and on. It just goes on and on and on. It never ends. Cold beer. That guy peeing on himself? That guy pooping on himself? What you think, buddy? You in the bathroom? What's he doing? What is that nut job doing? I'm gonna get out of here. Come on. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, when I got in this exchange with somebody else earlier today, and I decided that's gotta quit. I said enough. That's the last thing I'll speak on. I started exchanging with another person over that bullshit. And at the end of the day, that's what I don't like about them. You want to know what I don't like about them? That's what I don't like about them. The constant need to rag on me about being disabled. And how our family handles those disabilities. It's none of their damn business. How we get places. I mean, who does that? I mean, there's people that pick themselves up and walks. If I was able to do that, I might do it. I did do it in the past when I was young. Not able to do it anymore. Not able to do it anymore. Like I said, it started triggering really bad in the years 90, late 94, 95, 96. 2006 was probably the peak of its worst. And then from there, it's just been the same. Little here and there. If I don't move too much, I might be able to get a little bit more on my feet. Might be able to stay on my feet like if I stand in one place for a little bit. And then eventually, I'm going to have to eventually give in and sit down. Probably 2006 was its worst peak. So it took about a decade for it to fully metastasize. Took a decade. That's something I can't help. I'm born with. Neurological. Changing food, like that neurologist told me. Changing all that stuff's not going to work. But now I do feel better with the exercising, so I'm going to tell you that right now. I feel better. Plus, I get slimmer. And I want to tell you, getting some of that weight off does help. At least you feel a little better. I mean, I'm talking about you don't feel quite as bad. You get out huffing, you get out carrying 383 on you and see if you like it. Think not losing that's not going to matter. That's a bullshit. That's a bullshit. You know, that was the bullshit that I was sold by this doctor. That was the bullshit I was sold. At least I do feel like I don't have all that weight on me when I'm getting out, even if it doesn't help the muscle thing. Well, not help the muscular thing, but not help but that also made me think. My legs are real tiny. They've always been tiny. My sister said this to me. She said, well, I've noticed something about a lot of those people with muscular problems, even worse than you. Their arms and legs are always real thin. She said, wonder if that's the reason your legs are like that. I said, I don't know. It's a possibility. My legs were thin even when I was fat. I had these thin spaghetti legs even when I was a big old 383 behemoth. So I call myself names. People make a big deal about that. That's not something I want to be. But you don't want somebody ragging on your disability all the time. Just saying. That ain't right. That ain't good. Wonder what Jesus would think about that. Just saying. I know what he did. He walked around and healed. He didn't sit around and make fun of people because they was disabled. He healed them. He had compassion for them. Make fun of them and laugh at them and run them down for being disabled. Yeah, run them down for being disabled. Oh yeah, I kind of fought back too, but you know, I just want to play a victim. I didn't want to be their victim. But I guess I'd rather be their victim than be anywhere near them. You know that Marilyn Manson song where he says, rather be the victim than be with you? I wouldn't want to be around those people. They're nasty. They're nasty individuals. Oh, by the way, I'm going to shut up here. I can't, because, oh boy. Boy, is that some Jimmy. There might be some more even. Jimmy, the cricket. Why? Oh, that line in the Marilyn Manson song about the future. Chose the wrong side of the future. Turning the wrong side of the future. Taking the wrong side of the future, whatever it was. The wrong side of the future. The wrong side of history. The wrong side of, the wrong side at all. Let's see. Let's get out of here. You see, it was the wrong side of the future for those people that chose those girls in their story. because there's a line. And he did notice that a lot of people are pointing this out now. I've been reading it. Notice that the allegations, only the real pinpoint allegation came when it was released that him and his girl, his lady, secretly got married during COVID. You know, they ran off and they got hitched. They didn't tell nobody. That's when the main part of the allegation started to separate it about naming. Oh, they started naming. They were having hearings on the court. The unnamed monster. The unnamed monster. The unnamed monster harming that girl. The unnamed monster. Didn't name him. Gotta try to get out of here. I got stuck. I didn't make much money tonight either. Then I passed that casino. I was gonna try to gamble again. Wrong side of history. Wrong side of the future. Boy, you used some choice words in that song. Wrong side of the future. That means that you've taken the wrong path. It means that you went the wrong direction. And the future is going to arrive in a future that you're not going to be too happy with. Let's see now which way we want to go. Is that casino? I'm getting too tired. I may just have to not do the coach. I may not be able to do the casino tonight. Just have to try to do it on a night that I can. I'm starting to get tired. I bet it's already morning. It's late by the time I come home. Oh, those are plants. See, that's how tired I am. Oh, no, I'm in this part of town. I hate this part of town, y'all. This is so nasty. This is so grimy. I know parts of Dalton like that, by the way. Grimy. They turned my area into a grimy area. It used to be a grimy area. They turned it into one. Oh, they're building up nice houses, but that still ain't took the grime out. Because I can only say so much here. I can only say so much where I'm streaming. But I'll leave it at that. Car meet. Hi! Maybe I've got back on the path to get out of here. I don't know. You know, whether I wanted to be the victim or not, I kind of am a victim because they done it and they continuously do it, even today. Give it a few months, it might tinker off for a little bit, but it always starts up again. The commenter. It's like I told you the other night, there was this one time it went by a few weeks, and I was saying I was proud of her. So I was watching. She wasn't commenting. I was proud of her. I was cheering for her. There she was my enemy, and I was cheering for her. Yay, she really don't want it going on anymore. Then poke there. I don't know if somebody told her I said something, or I might have mentioned something about running into those, what I call the loop where I talk about what's happened in the past. Can't ever tell. People are troublemakers. People are troublemakers. They will do anything to stir up trouble. Because I kind of do this stream as sort of like a little talking thing. Sometimes I talk about the past. Sometimes I talk about the future. Sometimes I talk about nothing. Sometimes I talk about, if I'm where I can talk, I'll talk about what's going on in the political sphere. I gotta change all that though. I want to start just talking in my songs and maybe just comment little things here and there for the stream. Just go back to writing songs. That's the casino. I found it. I'm gonna have to get off. I'm too tired. I think I'm gonna change the way I do the talking about things now. I think I'm just gonna talk in a song. Because that way I'll have an everlasting peace of whether it sounds crappy or whether it's one of those that I like. Because you get some of those. I'll tell you an artist I don't never hear nothing. He might hear it himself. Because you always got to remember, you're never good enough for yourself. That's one thing I've noticed. While you'll hear somebody compliment you somewhere, and you might have not felt that. Because you're always too picky for yourself. You're too naked, as Trent Reznor used to call it. You feel naked. You're never good enough for yourself. You can always be better. There's always room for improvement. And even when you get the best that you've gotten, you're not happy with the best that you got. Because it still ain't where you want to be. And then just so yesterday, I was even more crazier. I was looking back to wanting to be like I was when I was an amateur. Now, I don't know where that come from. That was crazy as bullshit. Why in the hell would I want to be an amateur? I've learned a lot of things. But I noticed there's a beauty. Like, I'll listen to it and I'll think there's a beauty to that. Amateurism. Not knowing what I was doing. Not knowing how I was going to do it, but it turned out. There was a beauty to that. It was an art. Now it just is. And everything's digital now, of course. Where in the old days where you had knobs and levers. Unless you get it out and put it on the machine, and I do that sometimes, just get the old feel. There's fictionist knobs and that you have to pull on the screen with a mouse. It's not the same. And it definitely ain't the same as the old cassette. The cassette. Y'all know I wanted to go back to that. That's what I did my first album. You could still buy them back then. I mean, they were still available for sale in the stores. A 4-track recorder, 8-track recorders. I couldn't afford the 8-track ones. They was high dollar. But I was gifted enough to buy the 4-track recorder. So I could have an element of analog and mix it with the digital world. Because what I did was I recorded and mixed it on the 4-track. Recorded it to a CD and then ripped it from the CD to the computer. Now, I don't remember if I used the Windows Media Platform or the RealPlay. That's not in my memory. I used one or the other to rip it. I ripped them to the computer from the CDs that I made. But now I recorded it. I had the little 4-track plugged up to the CD recorder. And I mixed it out. And I go through many a mixes because that's too loud, that's too low, that's too this and that. And finally, That one's the one I'm happy with. Sometimes I wasn't even happy then. I just take them. That's several of them songs I wasn't even happy then. I just took them. Hundreds of CDs. Wasted. Sony CDs. I had a box of Sony CDs. I think I went to 2 or 3 of them things. You know, you used to get quite a big number. Was it 200? In a pack? I don't remember. They were 100, 200. I went to 2 or 3 packs of those things. Yeah, I don't like that one. Yeah, I like that one. That one's it. There was a beauty to that. Beginnings. Enjoy your small beginnings. Somebody used to preach at. Was it Rodney and Jonathan? It might have been both Rodney and Jonathan, or Jonathan on Rodney's show. He would say, it might have been his, he's got another cousin, or all the family's into it. Shudder's words. Might have been one of them. Enjoy those humble, small beginnings. Because once they're gone, they're gone. Because now I can put them things in there. Like even just a year ago, it would still take me about 2 or 3 days to do a mix. I've gotten down where I can get it in a couple of hours. If it takes that long. That would be the hardest song to mix. By the way, I think I'm going to mix the next project. The last one I did all AI band. Where the AI records your music and then I split it up and then I do my thing. Like I told y'all, that song I played last night, it didn't sound like that in the beginning. I made it sound that way. That's all me. It might have been recorded with AI, but it was all me and all mixing and all 90s plugins and mixing. And I even noticed I did the double vocal tracking thing. I was actually blown away by that. I said, "Oh yeah, I done it," because I didn't remember doing it. Like I used on the O projects. What was it called? Breaking Insanity Box and Tales of Hurt and the Paranormal. Yet I gave it a 90s plugin. It didn't sound nothing like that in the beginning. I did that. I split its tracks up. I got kind of lazy on this other one, some of these new songs. I didn't split all them up and do it. I just did minor things. Back then I was just trying to see how far I could go, how far I could teach myself. See, now I've done learned, so it's not really as important to do it again because I've done it. It was just an experience to have the drums, the guitar, the bass, all that stuff. Choosing all that stuff. My favorite Cyberpunk Rebel, though. Out of other thing that I accomplished out of that album, it was my favorite. It was my favorite out of the last album. The other album, I wasn't too happy with that album. It had my bully song on it. Now my other bully song come out on the other one, which was about the school bully that I had. He was a cake. He was a piece of cake. Let's call him a piece of cake. He was a piece of cake. He was a piece of cake. Because one minute he was, "Don't bother him, he's my best friend." But then every once in a while, he's bullying me around. But anytime he was friendly, Marilyn Manson has one of them stories. Anytime he was friendly, I let him be friendly. I just let him be friendly because I didn't want to deal with him. I didn't want to deal with that fucker. Boy, he was something else. He's crazy, man, I tell you. Crazy, man. Crazy. Yeah, Cyberpunk Outlaw is what it was called. Out of all the songs I did, that's my favorite for that album. At least mixing wise. Because I did several things. I stacked the vocal. Some of it is affected, some of them is natural. I've done all kinds of stacking on it. Let's turn it down where it ain't so loud. I kind of copied what I did on Breaking the Insanity Box of that Black song, whatever it is, Black Karma. But it has different lyrics. It's kind of the same song if you really think about it. It kind of sounds like the same song. It's a little different. One that was created with beat, that was created with AI. But it's close. I like what I did with the vocals. It's got a little bit of that flavor that one of them ELO. I used to love ELO. It's kind of got that flavor to it. By the way, I did all that crazy stuff too. That song don't sound like that anymore. I've done all that stuff to it. That's all me too. The echoes. I done every bit of that. The guy in the song's pretty much like me. He don't listen to anything. It ain't about me, but it might as well be. Because you can't tell him nothing. Everybody's wanting him, but he just won't hear it. Life is turning upside down with those nasty cyberpunks. Boy, I know one thing. Up until this latest stint that I caused, I'll get my happiness back. It'll come back. I was happier than I ever been. I sort of blessed myself with my own lyrics when I think about it. Life is good. I blessed myself. I also blessed myself with Hate Crush. Hate Crush is about, it was a fictitious song about haters. I'm going to go ahead and let it play too. Let's go ahead and let Hate Crush play. I kind of blessed myself with my own lyrics. Because I'm feeling better compared to how I did last year. Even with this latest stunt, that's the only thing that's sort of dampering it. I'll get it back. I blessed myself with my own. I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to write blessings over myself. Because I blessed myself. Listen to this. It's got a blessing in it.
Though they won't admit it to me, I see it in their eyes. Though they're trying to disguise it, I can feel it with their spiteful eyes. These people got a head crush. That's my fault, hateful envious. But they really love me, secretly preferring me to any other. Despite all the anything I receive, I stay true to myself. I remain abundantly, living a life of joy and wealth.
I don't have that wealth yet, but I was having a lot of joy lately. So I was sort of blessed myself with those lyrics. I was noticing that. Even in the other songs. I blessed myself. This was the whole year after I recorded all this. And I was happier. And I couldn't explain why I was happier. I know why. I spoke blessing over myself. Rodney always tells us to do that. He says the name blessing over yourself. Boy, that one fits right now, because they're telling a bunch of lies now. saying I started it, blah, blah, blah. I was even predicting my future. This was a fictitious song. I just kind of come out with it by mistake. I liked it and kept it. See, I predicted blessings into my life in my own lyrics. I gotta do that with more of my songs. This next album's going to be about joy, wealth, blessing. Just watch. I'm gonna bless myself and see it come to pass next year. Spiteful, hateful, jealous, envious. I forgot what I said. Oh yeah. Boy, I blessed myself with those lyrics. Writing these right, you can bless yourself. This is 1 year later. Right now, I created my own problem. But I'll get out of it. I'll be back better than ever, like Marilyn Manson is right now. He's all smiles. He's meeting his fans. I'll be back and better than ever. To quote Eric Bischoff. I'll be back and better than ever. That was actually an accidental song. I just kept playing around and I come up with those lyrics and I started singing it out. Added some more to it when I got it started. And then it became a song. It wasn't even to be taken serious. Boy, I noticed I spit blessings over myself. And the next year I was happier. Speaking blessings over yourself works, y'all. It's a principle. I didn't even really believe in it. When Rodney and them would be preaching that, I'd say, yeah. I see it a year later. I didn't even remember those lyrics. In other words, I knew they was there, but I mean, I wasn't thinking about them, you know. But I was noticing about the confidence and joy, and the only thing I don't have is the wealth. Boy, Lord, if you could spare some of that. There's nothing wrong with being rich. Just give me some of that blessing, Lord. I'll praise you. I like to praise you like I should. You gave me the joy. I got to get it back. I got to quit moping about that. Just let it go. I'll find another gem. I'll find another gem I like. Let it go. I'm going to let it go tonight. I'm speaking a blessing over myself. This time next year, I'll be twice as happy as I am right now. Maybe 10 times as happy. I'm going to write it in lyrics. Mark my words, I'm going to write songs about joy. And I'm going to bring that into my life. It works. I was kind of skeptical. I'm kind of like them biddies. You know the biddies? The Bible thumpers. Their religion gets in the way. I'm kind of like them because I was raised that way. I had that grandmother. Scared to death. She was one of those broomstick. Well, she didn't do that, but I mean, she was close. She was close. And I'll leave it at that. I won't tell the tale. I used to tell it on AOL. People are so picky, man. Maybe we'll come up with a parable. I'm going to come up with a parable. Well, I don't offend anybody. Imagine a husband and wife, and they're taking a trip, and they make their way out to somewhere like Las Vegas. And the husband is a wild man. He's kind of, well, we won't call him wild. We'll just say he's loose. But now his wife, His wife is one of those religious people. Totally religious, fearing of everything. And it's not really a bad thing. But she is nitpicking him about taking her to Sin City. I mean, she's literally afraid God's going to strike their car because they're going to Sin City. I actually did what Jesus did. I did a parable there. I actually did a parable for the first time in my life. I'm going to start doing that since I offend people. Since I offend people by talking truth. We'll just do parables. We'll do parables from now. When I want to talk about something, I'm going to talk in parables. I'm going to take the exact same situation and change it, but make it about different people. Because people get so offended if you mention it. We'll do parables from now. That's probably why Jesus done that. He knew they'd be walking around offended. He knew they'd be walking around offended. He could read their freaking thoughts. He knew they'd be offended. So he did parables to keep from offending them. I'm going to start doing parables. Give me the parables, Lord. Just give them to me. Give me some parable songs. Hard to write some parable songs. That would be a thing. Parable songs. I'll start doing that. Parable songs. Oh, yeah. You know, rock and rollers, they believe it has to be full of truth. Bullshit. It's a song. You know, that's what they always hear. Long as it's true, long as it's true. I've always liked the fiction parts, too. I like the storytelling, man. I'm a storyteller. I want to write little short stories and turn them into songs. You stated the truth. I'll write stories. I'll be like the folk guy, but I'll be grungy. Or electronic. I'll be like the folk teller. The folk guy. But I'll be not folk. That stuff sucks to me. I'm not into that stuff. I go to sleep. Simon and Garfunkel. Simon and Garfunkel sucks. I don't believe I'm the only person that thinks. I think Michael Savage didn't like them either. I think he grew up with those schmucks. If I remember correctly, Michael Savage grew up with those schmucks called Simon and Garfunkel. I think he knew them. Those schmucks. Man, they bore me. I hear that junk, I get bored. I get sleepy. I go, oh, I am a rock. I am an island. I'm a rock. I'm an island. I get sleepy, man. I'm about ready. Come on, give me some. Wonder if I turn it on, I'll sleep like a baby. I'll try it tonight. I'm gonna find me some fucking Simon and Garfunkel and see if I can go to sleep. I'll probably go to sleep anyway. Next time I can't sleep, I'm gonna get out Simon and fucking Garfunkel. That junk's shit, man. That's boring crap. You know, the black guys and stuff when I was a kid, they didn't want to hear the country. I say, fuck that. I'd hear country any day over Simon and Garfunkel. I'd hear some country music any day over Simon and Garfunkel. Black kids,
All it takes is one quick
I would
call
like
to
to have
Morse
that car.
Mutual, and we will replace any vehicle that is
That's
fully
why I went
insured
so
with us,
freaking fast.
hassle-free.
See, it's gonna give me a
Insurance
truck.
is
And
sold
everybody
at
knows I don't
participating
like
garages.
trucks.
See website for terms, conditions, and
It
exceptions.
depends. If it was a beautiful truck, I might like it. I'm a rock. I'm an island. I hope I ain't got no Simon and Garfunkel fans in my audience. Because if I have, I've offended them. That shit's sleepy, man. Talk about wanting to bore me to death. Let's turn on some Simon and Garfunkel. I really do believe that Savage grew up with those schmucks. Boy, I wish I had some of his books around. I'd pick him up and look through it. That one about his life. I've got some of the books on the... There's another one of my orange cards. I've got some of them books on the... but I think it's Guide, Faith, and Reason. I'm talking about digital. I got digital. I had his real book somewhere. I mean, put up somewhere. Not sure where they're at. I used to buy all of his books, from Liberalism of the Mental Disorder on down. And I went and got the one before it. My favorite was The Political Zoo. That's where he assigned every creature in Washington an animal in the zoo. Now that was my favorite Michael Savage book. Rodney Howard-Browne did that with the Communist book, the Communist Manifesto. He made it a cartoon where people could look at it as a cartoon. Since they had to have pictures to see it. The Communist Manifesto in pictures. I believe he did. I hope I'm not lying. Rodney, if I'm lying, I don't mean it. I know y'all made some book in pictures. I thought it was the Communist, exposing the Communist Manifesto. It's the one y'all made in pictures. I'm pretty sure it was. I'm going off memory and I'm sleepy. I'm a rock. I'm an island. Oh my God. My eyes want to close just thinking about it. Just thinking about hearing it. I'm being mean to Simon and Garfunkel. God, I'm sorry. I repent. I don't like them being the musicians. I guess that ain't true. Sometimes I hate on Taylor Swift. Do you know something? I'm going to tell y'all this, and this might make some of the haters mad on one behalf, but you know what? I kind of respect her on one level, because she done it. But I wonder how. I mean, I'm kind of in that boat. Like, I wonder how, but yet I respect her for doing it. Did she just sell her soul? That's some of that talk, and I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there for a reason. I'm going to shut myself up right now. Because, did you notice she got targeted by them bullies? Those bullies. You know what I'm talking about. She got targeted by those bullies. Did you ever think that maybe all your videos on her witchcraft, all that stuff might have inspired that? I mean, I know they're crazy. But just saying, you know, just like some Bible thumpers like to preach Jesus, they don't believe in preaching Jesus. Just saying. I'm not trying to point no fingers. And it's important to have discussions. And I'm trying to be as careful with this conversation and as tongue-in-cheek as with it as I can, without giving details. I mean, Taylor's going to have to say one thing, even though I don't like her and I don't understand, I will respect the fact that she did it. And y'all know me, I'm not one of those women in the kitchen people. Indeed, I was bringing that up last night. You know, there's people who don't want women doing anything They want them as sex objects, and I like sexy outfits too. But they just want them purely for that. They want to pump them out there as sex objects. But that girl with the zombie voice. Zombie, zombie, zombie. She had a great voice. But just imagine, especially in Ireland, that country dominated by religion. Want to tell her to stay in her place because she's a woman. You know me, I like Kim Gordon. I like Courtney Love. Why do you think I like them? Now, I'm not liberal like them. But now I respect that point of view. Because I'm going to tell you on another verse, they like quoting the Bible and they like quoting that it says it in the Bible. That's what I mean by you can say anything you want. That's why I don't believe when people just quote anything in the Bible. You know, they say that women can't be preachers, and I've run into some women that I thought were good preachers, and I've run into some men that I thought were terrible preachers. Did you hear what I just said? But yet they will preach to women and say women's not supposed to preach in the church. Just because one of the apostles said. But I'll tell you another side of Jesus, and I noticed this. Did you know most of Jesus's main followers were all the ladies? I mean, they even went and checked on him. Them others, man, they're going to come get me. Man, they're coming. That big bad government's coming to get them big bad Sadducees and Pharisees. I got to hide. Where was the ladies? They were two of them were standing out in front of his tomb. Was it two or three? Two? I believe there were two Marys, wasn't it? I may have it wrong. Standing out in front, waiting to see if he was see him be buried, and the angels come and say, "Why are you here? He's gone," or whatever. Or they spoke to. Did they? How did it go? I don't want to lie, but anyways, anybody who knows the story knows what I'm talking about. The ladies go and check on him when the men are hiding out. They're hiding themselves. They're afraid the big bad government's coming. I'm gonna have to give Alex Jones some credit. I know I'm on these streams. Let's say AJ. We're gonna give him some credit. He's bold, man. You don't find him cucking down in a corner. You don't find Alex Jones cucking down in the corner. That's why y'all hate him. I better shut up because we're on other streams. You don't see him cucking down in the corner, worrying that the Sadducees are coming after him. The Pharisees. You don't see Rodney either. Boy, I love Rodney. You don't see him cucking in the corner. He's bold, man. He's telling us to be bold. I should be more bold. Problem is, I'm full of boldness. The problem is, I'm full of self-boldness. You know that self-righteousness? Well, I'm self-boastful. How would you even say that? Self-boastfulness. Let's put it that way. I'm full of bold, but I'm bold in myself. What I need, this is what I need, Lord. I'm telling you what I need up here. I'm talking to you, Lord. I need some boldness in you, not boldness in me. Boldness in you. Like I'm who the F are you? I got that from rock and roll, by the way. F off. I got that from rock and roll. I got that from Dave Mustaine. I got that from Axl Rose. I even got that from Marilyn Manson. Because I was still young. I was still young. I wasn't a kid anymore. Still impressionable. I think I was 22 when I ran in here. 21, 22. Maybe 23, the most. I'd have to go back and look. I'm 49 right now. Let's see. I might have been a little older. Let's see. This is 30 years. I didn't run into him. Yeah, I was a little older. I was already getting close to my late 20s. So I was older than I thought I was. I'd probably been about 27. Now, that's when I was on the internet. So that's probably about a few years ahead of that. Let's see. I got on the internet in 2001. I remember because my first SNs were 27 and 28. I had those numbers in there. And I put them there because of my age. So that's probably about 23, 24, somewhere around there. Let's see, 95, 6, 95 and 6. Because all 94, somebody kept telling me about him. I was thinking I was picturing a woman. Now, finally, I told him, I'll check Marilyn Manson out, but I was thinking she was going to be a girl. So it's probably in my mid-20s. That's probably in my mid-20s. That's still too impressionable, though. I've always been the bold and rock and roll in me, but I need the boldness in Christ. But I have a little bit of that, too, because I'll stand up for him as well. Well, 9 times out of 10, I'm standing up for me, and you know what? There's no reward in that. Indeed, it gets you in more trouble than it gets you out of trouble. Sometimes. Sometimes the boldness in yourself takes you in waters that you don't need to be in, waters that you don't. It takes you out to rough waters in the sea. It's foolishness. It's like the Bible describes it. So you're for every food that I found in the Psalms. I'd be reading those Psalms, and I'd be thinking I'm reading, and I'm reading, and I'll start reading about a food, and then I'll be the other food. I think I told that 100 times. I need the boldness in Christ, not just the boldness in self. And I'll be just as bold for him as I be for myself. Because I usually don't bend there either if I believe in it. Now, if I don't believe you and I don't hear you, I won't listen to you. It don't matter if you're right or wrong. I've got to see it. You can't talk to me. But now, if you're somebody of a stature, I might sort of give you somebody I respect and revere, and I really revere you. I might listen to you a little bit if I think you're not trying to manipulate me. If I think you're trying to, if I ever get any sense, 1 inch of manipulation, you're just trying to win me over to your side, even if it's the Bible and you're quoting it accurate, you're going to lose me. You're going to lose me if you're trying to manipulate me into getting things your way. But now if you sit and show me the way, I listen to that. I like being educated. I don't like being told what to do. See what I'm saying? There's a difference. Show me. In other words, I want to learn. I just don't want somebody telling me how it's going to be. Because you're not going to tell me how it's going to be. Because it's not going to be that way. Indeed, it's going to be the exact opposite of how you tell me. Even if it's the right thing to be, it's going to be opposite. Because that's just the way I am. I'm going to reject it. But now if you can show it to me, the best way to do is to show it. Because I like that. I can sit back and I'll be watching something. Sometimes I'm going to be listening to the Bible. Like one time, I actually come to the utter belief again that he didn't exist. And I think I told this story the other night. And I pouted up at him for a few hours, and it was the quietest night in Dalton I'd ever heard in years. And I could hear everything going on. That's how quiet it was. Normally you're hearing all kinds of junk. The noise, the city, all of it. You're hearing all of it. It's hitting you all at once. This night, it was the quietest night ever. I was laying there pouting at God. You don't exist. You don't answer my prayers. All this other stuff. That negative. And finally, I get thirsty. I actually sat up and I started crying again. Lord, I'm sorry. I don't mean that. I turned on the Bible. I've got up one of those YouTube Bibles. He was preaching. And there was talking stuff. There's casting devils. And finally, the disciples come up to Jesus. Oh, by the way, I'm answering my prayer right now about how to get things done. Because he told me. He told me the keys to the kingdom. It'll be in the red letters. He said some things take fasting and prayer. And I yelled out right there, "You just talked to me. I laid here all night pouting. I didn't know they was going to be playing that." I mean, 4 hours. I laid 4 hours pouting a guy. Pouting. Moping. Weeping. And then I get up. I weep again. "Lord, I'm sorry. I don't mean that. I believe in you." I told him, "I'm not going to go out of my way to be bad or nothing, but I'm just not going to believe in you." And that's, in other words, I wasn't going to go out of my way to not believe in him or nothing, but I just wasn't going to. In other words, I wasn't going to listen. I wasn't going to read anymore. I wasn't going to do nothing. I was done. And I laid there crying for moping and pouting. And finally I got up and said, "Lord, I don't mean that." Then I got up and turned the Bible on, and there it was. He answered what I was crying to. He cared that I was crying. He wasn't mad at me for pouting at him. He literally talked to me with his own words in his own Bible. Not some preacher talking to me on the TV. It would have been in the red letter version. It would have been him talking, because that's what they was asking. They were trying to cast something, a demon or something. They couldn't do something. I forgot what they was trying to do, but they was trying to do it. And he answered the prayer. I mean, he answered their request. He said some things take prayer and fasting. I couldn't understand why the more I'd pray, indeed, it seemed like the more I'd pray, indeed, I was getting to the point where I didn't want to pray about it. This, whatever was bothering me, it just seemed like the more I prayed about it, the more it got worse. Demons were listening. Maybe we should do those tongues. You know, Rodney told us that the reason they do you want to do the tongue so that devil don't know what you're talking about. It seemed like the more I prayed, indeed, it seemed like just even thinking about praying about it happened. I was just getting fed up, and I was starting to think, surely you can't be real. And then I kicked myself, because then I reminded myself I didn't want to be in those years of darkness again. So I started beating myself up on that, but then I reminded myself, well, he wouldn't want me beating myself up. He just tells you to pick up your boots and pick yourself back up and pick your cross back up and carry it. That's what he tells you to do. When you fall, you're supposed to get back up. Say, "I'm sorry," repent. I already repented just when I told him I didn't mean that. I mean, I was literally repenting right there when I got up. I jumped up like that and I said, "Lord, I didn't mean that. I'm not going to turn off your word." I turned it on. And then he answered my question. Boy, if only answers come that quick all the time. I wonder if they can. I'm just going to start asking and then turn on and see. I love that tale, though. That's a beautiful tale. But it's real. It really happened. It wasn't beautiful for the moment. It was because I was in some agony. I remember the feeling of that. Now, just talking about it made me remember it. The agony I felt. The blackness. And then all of a sudden, in that speck of light, I mean, just jumping up and saying, it basically relieved it just by me saying, "I don't mean that, Lord." It was already over in a minute, but then I turned it on and then there was the answer. That was what was so beautiful of it, because I couldn't apply to it. Because it was streaming live. I mean, it wasn't just like I turned my Bible on or opened my. I wonder if anybody's ever opened it up. I think it has happened to people where they opened it up and it fell on what they needed. I mean, that YouTube person didn't know I was doing that. Probably, maybe they did. Who knows? They might have. Nah, I ain't gonna go there. That's too crazy. I mean, it's possible, but that's probably already. It might have been streaming for hours. You know, that's the way the streams are usually set up that way. Like that prayers and stuff. Oh, I love them. Those got me through a lot of dark days too. And prayers. I love those YouTube prayers. Let's see if there's any on right now. I see some more Marilyn Manson footage. Prayer to command doors to open. Yeah, there's some prayers. I don't know how good some of them are. Destroying evil altars. That's Jennifer. She's on right now. Oh, yeah, she has a 24 live channel. Prayers against the spirit of untimely death. That would be a good one if you thought she was dying. The secret warfare weapon. Return to sender. A prayer against witchcraft attacks. That sounds like a good one. Holy Spirit healing while you sleep. Now, I've also heard you can't pay attention to a lot of these. Some of them are using witchcraft themselves. So you have to be careful there. You're not supposed to use witchcraft. Christians aren't supposed to use witchcraft. Am I being religious with that? Yeah, I'm not, because it's actually written. There's a testimony of God healing Alice Cooper. I ain't seen that one. I gotta watch that one. I love Alice Cooper. No more, Mr. Knight. He was the first guy to sing it. No more, Mr. Clean. Was there anybody else that sung it? Besides Mustang. Just scrolling here. I gotta get off. I'm too tired to shut down the stream. You know a son. C.S. Lewis. I love this one. Never tell anybody what to do. You don't want to tell me what to do. That's the exact opposite. Now, if you're a devil and you're trying to do that, shame on you. May God send it back to you tenfold if you would be that way to me. Literally tell me to do something because you thought I would do the opposite. That would be evil. 3M Holy Ghost Warp. Oh, I love those. And I don't know. I believe they might be in the realm of the witchcraft, but I love the African ones. They get into it, man. I don't know if it's right or not, but I love them. I'd say it probably is witchcraft because I love it. They really get into it, man, and I love the sound of their voices.